Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. So about 7 months ago, I bought some Burton G-Form Total Impact shorts. And I'm going to talk to you about the last 7 months of me skating them and what I liked, what I didn't like, and give you my thoughts on skating those for the last 7 months. So let's get into it. So I originally bought these shorts because I hurt my tailbone really badly. I'll show you the clip right here. It's not fun. So I hurt my tailbone really bad, and as you know, or if you've heard someone or everyone told me, is that like, hey, tailbone injuries are the worst. They take forever to heal, and that is so true. Unfortunately, 2 or 3 weeks after this tailbone injury happened, there was a big event called Ramping Camp that I really wanted to go to and at least skate a little bit. So for the first time, I looked into buying crash pads, and I had a couple of criteria. I really wanted them to be low profile because I wear, like, admittedly, like pants that are probably too tight. I don't know. I blame it on some kind of body awareness thing where it makes me feel more in tune with my skating, but I think that's just a cop out. But I wanted low profile compression or crash pads to fit underneath my pants and just not be super obvious. And I also wanted some that had some good tailbone protection for obvious reasons that I mentioned before. So that led me to the Burton Total Impact crash pads here, the impact shorts. And at the time I was looking, these were really, really hard to find, and they still are tough to find. But there were not any men's available at the time, and I needed them in like a week when I was looking for these. So I ended up getting the women's one, the women's shorts, and they end up actually fitting just fine. Like, honestly, they're great. I got size large. I am just about 6 feet tall and about 185 pounds. And the women's, for what it's worth, the women's size large fits great. And we'll get into like fit and fitment here in a second. But basically, if you want to get these shorts today, they're a little bit tough to find. Even on the Burton website itself, they're like sold out. But anyway, I found this. Here's this website, darksidesnowboards.com, and they have them for sale. They appear to be in stock. $135. So that's a big thing with these shorts, is they are not on the cheap side at all. But we'll get into the value and what I think about that here in a little bit. But I think when I bought these, I think I ended up paying right about $130. Some of the specs here, whatever you want to call it. Next to skin, fit, hugs the body with minimal extra fabric, dry ride. And that's one thing too, I think that's important to note, is these are like, Burton is a snowboarding company, but these do not have any insulative properties, if that's a word. They're very breathable, and that's one thing that I really like, is that they're super breathable. Protected by G-Form's proprietary impact protection technology. My understanding is that with this material is that it sort of reacts based on the amount of energy that's like displaced on it. So it kind of has this dynamic range or dynamic like response to the level of impact, right? Like it can harden and soften kind of dynamically as it's hit. I think that's some sort of proprietary like part of these pads, right? Ergonomic hip, tailbone, and sit bone padding, and then soft waist logo, elastic waistband, reduces chafing. I will say that they are very comfortable. So like we mentioned, they do have the big tailbone protection, the kind of ischial sit bone protection, and then big hip bone protection, which has been really good too. So my big thoughts the last 7 months skating these, and one thing I think is important to note is that if these things are really doing their job, you don't really notice them, right? If they're comfortable, if they sort of fit seamlessly under what you're already wearing, if you're not getting hurt, like these things' their job is to effectively be invisible and unnoticed. And so I had to really think and try to take mental notes over the last 7 months, because I knew eventually I was going to do some short review on these. And so I had to really reflect, and even sitting here reflecting over the last 7 months and really thinking, like, because there was times at points where, and I think it's important to note too, where it's like, if you hit your wrist and you have a wrist injury, you're not going to want to fall on your wrist again. So it may end up you hit your elbow, and then you hurt your elbow, and then that works its way up. And basically, long story short, I ended up, both my hips were like swollen and terribly bruised, and it was miserable. And this is prior to the hip pads, by the way. And so if I think about all the hip injuries, some of the tailbone injuries that I've had up until buying and using these shorts, and then I reflect on the amount of injuries after that, I have to believe, right, just anecdotally, just personal experience here, that before and after, like the shorts do their job. And so what are some of the things that I really like about the shorts? Let's get into it really quick. Like I mentioned, they're very breathable. They're very stretchy. As far as durability goes, a lot of times these elastic garments, we'll talk about this in a second. Don't worry about that little guy right now. But a lot of times these elastic garments, after washing and drying them over time, will start to lose their elasticity and start to get kind of just like stretched out, if you want to call it. But these have held up really, really well over the test of time. Like I said, I've skated these over the last 7 months. Skated them about half the time. But they've held up really well in terms of durability. Once you put these on and get the pads where you want them, right over your hips and right over your tailbone, and then you put your pants or whatever right on top, they stay put. What I was nervous about is having to like pull these up and adjust them underneath my pants, and it would just be, you know, uncomfortable and whatever. But that has not been the case. Again, like I said, their job is to be invisible, and I think they do a really good job at that. Except, you know, if you sweat through, and I think this is going to be true with any crash pads, if you sweat through this tailbone deal here, will leave kind of a funny sweat imprint on your pants while you're skating or whatever. But I mean, whatever. Okay, so as far as this goes, let's talk about this really quick. So at the local skate park, the Daily Shred here in Oklahoma City, I was trying to be cute and put one of my stickers way up high on this wall. And then I knew I wasn't going to skate back down. I was going to slide back down this super high wall. While I was sliding back down, my butt caught a plate, and it just caught my pants, and it ripped right through my pants, right through these shorts. And I'm pretty sure it even put like a small hole in my underwear too. I already have enough of those, so I didn't need another one. But so I don't really blame these shorts or lack of their durability very much, to be honest, because the pants that I was wearing over top, I've had a long time and they were in good shape. But what I mean is that those pants had been through a lot and were very durable pants. And so for them to just cut right through the pants, right through these, and for what it's worth, they still work. Like this still stays where it's supposed to. It's just a little bit more religious, holy now, a little bit more holy. Maybe like in a little bit more ventilation now, perhaps. How about that? So I don't really chalk it up too much to these. You know, yeah, I just feel like anything that was subject to what these went through would probably rip as well. But like I mentioned before, just reflecting back on injuries pre-shorts to the injuries post-shorts, for me, it's kind of no contest. These things are low profile. They're effective. They have really good anatomical protection here. They're just great. You know, I think in this case, it's kind of cliche to say, but sometimes you get what you pay for. And these being, you know, like $130 is expensive, but you get the kind of total package. Really low profile, really good protection, great fit, comfort, breathability. I'll probably be trying out something else. I wish I had more pairs, but I can't spring to buy more $130 pairs right now. But I'll probably be trying out something different in the future just to kind of compare, do a little comparison. But yeah, hey, I will link to the website where we were looking at earlier. There's our buddy right there. But I'll link to this website down in the description below if you want to go check it out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review here. Let me know what crash pads you use down in the comments below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. Without your help, this would not be possible. If you want to support the channel through Patreon, check out the link down in the description below and check out the video on the screen. I'll see you over there.